Hello, my name is Kevin with Daytona Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram. I'm a sales consultant over here. Today I wanted to introduce this new vehicle we just took in. It's a 2010 Petty's Signature Series Challenger. Now this isn't just your normal 2010 RT Challenger. There's been a lot of upgrades, all done by Petty's, all done in-house. They went with the Cervini shaker hood on this. So we've got a flat matte black shaker hood with the intake. That is a functional intake that does feed the filter for the supercharger on this car. They've also changed all the badging out to Petty's logo badging. They've taken away all the Dodge badging and things like that. If you look down here, Dodge by Petty logos, the supercharged logos. Then this is a functional and it's also an appearance upgrade. The rear chin splitter has actually been switched out with an SRT8 car. So you've got the extra additional brake ducts. Those are cooling ducts for the big front brakes that they've done on this car. You'll also notice on the side of the car, they've done a custom wheel package. These are made by Forge Line Racing. It's a 3-piece custom wheel. They do a 9.5 inch up front and a 10.5 inch in the rear, which is the widest you can fit on this car without doing any changes to the body of it. That is forged aluminum, which is ultra lightweight, ultra strong, and it is a 3-piece design. Tons of stopping power, tons of cooling power for the brakes. You're never going to overheat them. The Challenger is a bigger car, so this big brake upgrade is definitely very helpful doing any sort of performance driving in it. You'll also notice the car sits quite a bit lower. That's thanks to Petty's Garage putting on a adjustable coilover suspension. Now it's ride height adjustable and dampening adjustable, so they really dialed this car in. They actually did a 4-corner weight adjustment on this car where they balanced the car wheel for wheel, making sure it has the proper force on all 4 tires. They've also changed out some of the bump stop bushings, which help with the steering of the car and how it handles up front. There's also fully adjustable front and rear sway bars. You'll notice in the rear here, it's got a custom matte black stripe. Now this stripe is designed by Petty's Garage, and what most people think this is actually printed on here with the Richard Petty signature, he actually hand signed every single one of these cars. You can find his signature in several locations throughout the car, one on each side on the rear quarters, there's one in the tachometer, in the gauge cluster, and there's a few other ones here and there. So that's been changed out. They also went to a painted fuel door instead of the chrome one, and they went to this NASCAR style aluminum rear spoiler that's actually bolted in from the rear. Very functional piece. Now for the performance upgrades on this car, I've already mentioned quite a few with the suspension and brakes and things like that. They went with a full Borla catback exhaust. Sounds great, but it's not overly loud. It's still subtle. It can still be driven as a daily driver without, you know, pissing off the neighbors or anything like that. And then the motor is really a work of art. They went to Arrington Motors, which is up in North Carolina. They're the same people that build the race motors for Petty's NASCAR team. This engine has fully forged internals. It's been balanced and blueprinted. Just completely built the 5.7 Hemi in this beyond what you would ever find in any street car. Then on top of that, they put a Magnuson supercharger on top. Altogether, this thing puts down 610 horsepower and 550 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels. That puts this in Hellcat territory. This shaker is functional. It does feed the large air filter here that feeds the supercharger that's hidden underneath that shaker. You can see the top strut tower brace. There's also, like I said, there's front and rear adjustable sway bars. And you can see the adjustments for the top for the dampening of the coilovers. Carbon fiber valve covers, just the fully built motor. It idles smoother than any 610 horsepower car I've ever been in, and just runs great when you get it in the RPM range. Just really fun car to drive and really impressive. It's really understated when you first start it, but when you start playing around with it, it's a blast. The full interior has been redone with cat skin leather with the Petty's Garage logo, custom leather. You'll also notice in the sill plates here, this car, originally with the Signature Series, Petty's Garage planned to do 43 cars. They never made it that far. I think the actual number is somewhere in the high 20s, around 28. This is number 007 of those cars that were made. So very, very rare car, more rare than any Hellcat, any Scat Pack, anything like that. They also upgraded to a Hurst short throw shifter. This is a 6-speed car. It gives you that nice, crisp, positive feel with every shift you do. And then in the armrests and everything, they even have Richard Petty's face embroidered into the suede door pockets. Come check out this one-of-a-kind Challenger down at Daytona Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. She's gonna go fast.